and welcome everyone to the 13th video lecture of Operations Research, module number 3. In today's video lecture, we are going to take one more problem on Vogel's approximation method. This is Professor Prashant Berge, and let us start with today's lecture. So the question goes like this: determine the IBFS using Vogel's approximation method. So we have a matrix that is transportation matrix has been given to us, and we have to determine the IBFS of this using VAM. So we'll just start proceeding. As in the previous problem, we have to first find out whether the problem is balanced or not. So let us see whether it is balanced or not. Solution. To check whether the given problem is balanced or not, you have to check the total supply, total demand. If it is equal, then it is balanced. So I've written here total supply is 60, total demand is 60, therefore problem is balanced because total supply is equal to total demand. Fine. Now let us copy this and find out row penalties and column penalties. So here I have noted down the problem once again, and here I'm writing row penalties, I'm writing column penalties here. See that I'm keeping some gap here for cancellations of supplies and some gap here for cancellation of demand. Okay, so first find row penalties. Again, like previous problem, we have to find out row wise. First row, what is the minimum this cost here, that is least cost 2, second least cost 5, difference between 2 and 5 is 3, least cost, second least cost, difference is 2, least cost is 6, second least cost is 7, difference is 1, and similarly you have to find out for all the rows and column. So this is what I found out, row penalties and column penalties for this. Column penalties also least minus second least 2, least minus second least 1, and least minus second least 1. So once we have found out this, the next step is you have to find out which is the highest out of these penalties. Highest penalty is out of these 4 and these 3, total out of these 7 numbers, highest penalty is this, right? So I'm marking it. What does this mark mean? That means I have to allocate in this row itself, that is F1 row. So where should I allocate? I should allocate logically in the least cost cell, that is here. See, there are 3 ways how I can fulfill my demand supply here. How I can supply here. Cost is 5 per unit, 2 per unit, and 6 per unit. So definitely I'll go for least cost, that is 2 per unit. So the supply is 8, demand is 25. That means I have to go for minimum of supply and demand, that is 8. So I'll allocate 8 here. Once I've done this, I have to cancel out this. The remaining is 0, the remaining is 17. Once anything row or column becomes 0, I have to cancel it out. So I'm cancelling. Now again find the set of new row penalties and column penalties. The row penalties here will be 2, 1, 1. This will remain the same. See here, I am telling you a shortcut here. You have cancelled a row here in the previous one. So there are no changes in these numbers. So whenever you cancel a row, the next row penalties remain the same. If you're cancelling a column, then the next column penalties will remain same. So in this case, you have cancelled a column, so you can copy the row penalties, whatever it is, or else you can find out if you want. Then column penalties may change. So we'll see what are the column penalties. 2 and 4. So the difference remains 2. 3 and 4, the difference is 1. 7 and 8, the difference is 1. So the highest now penalty you have to find out. The highest penalty, there is a tie. Okay, there is a tie between this 2 and this 2. Now suppose if I use this 2 here on my right hand side, this 2 I'm using, then where should I allocate? I should allocate here because this is the lowest cost. If I use this, where should I allocate? again the same. So luckily I'm getting the same whether whichever you use it. So I'll take anything, say I'm taking this one using this. So I have to allocate here. How much I can allocate? Minimum of supply and demand. The demand there is 5, supply is 22, so I am allocating 5. Cancel here, so 17 is remaining here, 0. So anything that becomes 0 should be cancelled out. I'm cancelling this. Now see here, now I have cancelled a column, so our column penalties will remain same directly. You can check cross verify if you want. Now row penalties will only change. Difference 8, 2, 4. So these are your row penalties. Once row penalties and column penalties we have found out, again you have to find out highest. So again in this you have to make allocation. Highest penalty I have selected. That means in this row you have to allocate. Where will you allocate? I am allocating here because this is lowest cost. The demand there is 17. Supply is also 17. So minimum of supply and demand is 17. So I am allocating 17. Here it becomes 0. Here it becomes 0. Don't forget to cancel both supply and demand. Many students, they forget to cancel both supply and demand. They cancel either supply or demand. But here, see here, when you are giving 17, that means supply side 17 will be less. That means from factory it have gone. So how many is remaining? 17. It will be less. And it has reached warehouse, that is go down. So there 17 will be more. So their demand has decreased there. So both things you have to take into consideration. In this case, both have become 0. So I'm cancelling both supply and demand. Now next step. What is the next step? Again you find out row penalties. Here only single digits are there. So 8 and 7. The other digits you have to consider it as 0. So 8 minus 0 is 8. 7 minus 0 is 7. Similarly here also 8 minus 7 is 1. So the highest penalty is here now. Here you have to allocate. That means only one option is available. 10 is the supply, 30 is the demand. Allocate minimum of supply and demand 10. So 0 is remaining. 20 is remaining here. Supply has become 0. So I am cancelling the row because this has become 0. Now only one option is there. There only you have to allocate. There is no option. So 20 is the supply, 20 is the demand. I'll allocate 20. See, only one factory is there, only one go down is there. Both one has 20, the other needs 20. So just give it because you do not have any other option. If you had other options, you could have gone for it. So what is the supply remaining? Here it is 0. Here it is 0. Both have become 0. So again, you need to cancel both supply and demand because they have become 0. So remember one thing now, in this case what I have done is both supply and demand have become 0. So that is why I am cancelling it. All the rows and all the columns, check once more before concluding that they have been cancelled out. Now let us go towards the table. Form a table of saying factories, warehouse, transportation cost and find out the total transportation cost. So now I've done this table, factory, warehouse and transportation cost. F1 to W2, 2 into 8, 16. F2 to W1, 2 into 5, 10 and so on. So the total is coming up to 314 units. So the IBFS, that is initial basic feasible solution, using this is 314 units. Check your answer and tell me if you're getting the same thing. With this we end today's lecture. If you have any difficulties, you can always contact us. We have completed 3 more different methods. That is, we have found out IBFS using northwest corner method, matrix minima method and Vochel's approximation method. In our next lecture, we shall be doing optimization. That is how to find whether this current answer that we have got is actually optimum or not, and that is the best solution or not.